I am Lamont at Large. Today I am in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I'm standing on Big Bend Road, and behind me are the very same woods where on May 31st of 2014, two 12-year-old girls by the name of Morgan Geyser and Anissa Weier lured their friend Payton Leutner here in hopes of stabbing and killing her to become proxies of a fictional character by the name of Slenderman. On May 31st, 2014 in Waukesha, Wisconsin, 12-year-olds Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser lured their friend Payton Leutner into the woods and stabbed her 19 times in an attempt to impress the fictional character Slenderman. Leutner crawled to a road where she was found. She recovered after 6 days in a hospital. Weier and Geyser were found not guilty by reason of insanity and committed to long periods in mental health institutions. Slenderman is a fictional entity created for a 2009 Photoshop contest on Something Awful, an online forum, the goal of which was to create paranormal images. The Slenderman mythos was later expanded by a number of other people who created fan fiction and additional artistic depictions of the entity. Slenderman is depicted as a tall, faceless man in a black suit with tentacles growing out of his back. According to the Slenderman mythos, the entity can cause amnesia, bouts of coughing, and paranoid behavior in individuals. He is often depicted hiding in forests or stalking children. Weier, Geyser, and Leutner were all 12 years old at the time of the stabbing and were classmates enrolled in the same school. Their principal later said that none had any disciplinary issues. They had been at a sleepover together the night before the stabbing. The attackers had discovered Slenderman on the Creepypasta Wiki, a website that hosts creepypasta. They later said they had believed Slenderman to be real and had wanted to prove their loyalty to him so they could become his proxies, prove his existence, and prevent him from harming their families. They believed that the only way to do this would be to kill someone, after which they would become servants of the Slenderman and live in his mansion in Nicolet National Forest. Weier and Geyser initially planned to attack Leutner on May 31st, 2014 during a sleepover. They planned to tape the victim's mouth shut, stab her in the neck, and flee. They did not carry out that attack. Geyser is believed to have wanted to give Leutner one more day to live. A second plan called for attacking Leutner in her bathroom at a local park. The actual attack took place in a nearby forest during a game of hide and seek. Leutner was pinned down and stabbed 19 times in the arms, legs, and torso with a 5-inch long kitchen knife. 2 wounds were to major arteries, and one missed her heart by less than a millimeter, and the other went through her diaphragm, cutting into her liver and stomach. Weier and Geyser then told Leutner they would get help for her, but instead simply left. Leutner dragged herself to a nearby road where she was found by a cyclist. Weier and Geyser were apprehended near Interstate 94. The knife used in the stabbing was in a bag they carried. Weier and Geyser were described as feeling guilty for stabbing their friend, but felt that the attack was needed to appease Slenderman. Leutner left the hospital 6 days after the attack. She returned to school in fall. So I'm sure many of you watching this video can recollect the case that was all over the news back in 2014, and everyone thought the same thing that I'm thinking of. How can two 12-year-old girls attempt such a disgusting and vile act? I remember that case very vividly, and this is about the woods where Morgan and Anissa tried to lure their friend Payton for a game of hide and seek, and they convinced her to kind of like cover herself in leaves and sticks, and Anissa held her down while Morgan did the stabbing. This girl was literally a millimeter away from dying. That's the width of a human hair. She could have easily had been killed, but thankfully she had the strength after losing all that blood to crawl out from the woods and out into this street right here and flag somebody down for help. So she, the cops were called and she told who did it, and they quickly apprehended the girls, and the detectives on the case were kind of shocked at how just blunt and honest the girls were, and them telling them, yeah, we tried to kill her to appease Slenderman. Everybody remembers that whole Slenderman thing that was going around a while back, and that's basically what happened. So to give you guys a kind of an up-to-date on the two girls, or all the girls involved, Payton seems to be doing just fine. I read online she's supposed to start college sometime the fall of this year, 2020. Now, Morgan Geyser and Anissa Weier, Morgan was sentenced to up to 40 years in a mental institution here in Wisconsin, and Anissa Weier was sentenced to up to 25 years. Now, Morgan Geyser, she can petition every 6 months for her release. Now, we're all going to say this: she's not going to be held in a mental hospital, you know, until she's in her 50s. Even though she has been diagnosed with some kind of form of schizophrenia, it came out in court documents that her father was actually hospitalized with schizophrenia himself when he was a teenager, and we know that some forms of mental illness is unfortunately hereditary. So every 6 months she can go and plead her case to the board or doctors of whatever mental institution she's currently located in, and ultimately it's up to a judge on whether he releases her or not, but it's going to come under the advisement of whatever doctors are caring for her currently. I believe right now she is 19 years of age. And the other girl, Anissa Weier, she's also in a mental health institution here in Wisconsin. And starting on July 1st of 2020, which as the recording of this video is merely a few weeks away, she can start petitioning again for her release. Again, a very weird story. 12-year-old girls don't normally do things like this. And, you know, what can you do in a situation like this? You can't lock them away forever. Eventually, they're going to have to come out and be productive members of society. And we should all hope for the best. We should all hope that the victim, Payton Leutner, has healed from her physical scars and works on every day of her emotional scars. And also the two girls, listen, they did a very horrible thing. They almost killed somebody. You know, there's no excuse for that at all. And me being the person that I am, I don't excuse anything when it comes to crime or attempted murder. But you're simply not going to be able to keep those girls locked away forever. So hopefully they're getting the help they need, and hope that they'll come out better persons than what they went in there. Just an odd case, simply for the fact that being 12 years old and getting that many years in a mental institution, then being charged as an adult. But again, people can say, hey, they were only 12 years old, but hey, they did an adult crime. So anyways, live but not live, but still alive by the grace of God. I am in Waukesha. What to do is this quick video and a quick update on the whereabouts of all those that are involved. Anyways, I will catch up with you on the next vlog. Peace out.